We all get to a point in our businesses where we got to ask ourselves, what do I want to do next? We want to grow our business. We have a lot on our plate. We're trying to balance all the other things in life. And as an entrepreneur, we all get caught up in the shiny object syndrome of should I do this or should I do that? Well, recently, one of the viewers of this channel reached out to me by email, and she sent me a letter. So 1980s. She sent me a message, basically asking me for my advice on some things. And so, uh, with her permission, I'm reading this to you. I'm going to give you some of my insight. Um, so basically, this is Nicole from Canada. So just to give a little bit of background, she's recently selling in Amazon Canada. So she writes me and says, "Hi, Kevin. I wanted to reach out to you because I'm a new FBA seller on Amazon Canada. I launched my first product about 6 months ago, and it's not yet profitable. I'm having a really difficult time right now because I know I can make my FBA business successful, which is awesome to hear. I love the attitude there. However, I'm very limited. I have very limited funds right now. I'm trying to figure out what the next steps should be. My brand company is registered as a sole proprietor in Canada, but I definitely have visions of selling on other or Amazon marketplaces in the future. I wanted to start on Canada because it's my home marketplace, which I think is a good idea to start in your home marketplace. I know the numbers don't even come close to the US. However, with the volume on the US, I don't think I could afford to buy that much inventory right now. I'm hoping you'd be willing to answer a couple questions because I'm running a one-woman show, and it would be so great to talk with someone experienced who has been there, done that. So a couple questions she listed here. One, is it better to build a brand and stay in a certain category or sell multiple products in different categories? Two, should I trademark my logo brand in Canada, and should that be a priority? And three, how many products would you recommend selling on Amazon Canada before expanding into other marketplaces? And honestly, what part of me just wants to sell in Europe, UK after Canada and skip the US because it's so much more competitive and expensive. I really appreciate any advice you're willing to share with me, Kevin. Sometimes I get caught up in researching everything. Guilty as charged there too. I have no idea which direction to go next. Thank you so much for your time. Sincerely, Nicole. So, Nicole, thank you for allowing me to share this, and hopefully this my answer here will give some insight and some at least things to consider for other people watching this video. So, what it comes down to is we really all get caught up in shiny object syndrome. I mean, you can't see it right now because my camera's facing this way, but I've got two lights that are shining on me. So you can probably see my bald spots here, the light shining off of me. And my eye keeps wanting to draw to the shiny object. I mean, it's a literal shiny object of like, oh, my eye wants to go there. But we do that in our businesses too. And shiny object just might be something that like, ooh, that sounds interesting. I want to look into that more. I want to try that. That oftentimes is the shiny object we're actually looking at. Is that, it's a different product, a different brand. Maybe if I just did this, everything would be better. It is very easy to get caught up in the everything will be better when. My business will be better when I get to this point in time, things will be better. So everything you're feeling, Nicole, is totally normal. Everyone goes through this. Maybe I should try this. Maybe I should try that. And you probably, and this is probably everyone watching this, you've had something in your life where you thought, I would just be better if I did this. Like if you were at a sports team and growing up, you think, I'd be better if I played a different sport, or I'd be better if I'm in a different position, or things would be better if I'm in a different team. I remember when I had jobs, oh, things would be so much better if I was in a different department. Oh, if I had a different boss, if I had a different this. No, start with where you're at and improve it. And, you've got the spirit. So Nicole here's got the spirit of wanting to be successful. And I think that's half the desire is that if you tell yourself you're going to be successful, I know I can make my FBA business successful. Those are words that really stuck out to me. You will. So it's just a matter of time. Sometimes we have to let the cake bake, so to speak. Um, you can't just, using that analogy of letting the cake bake, you can't just make it go from 400 degrees to 800 degrees and expect it to bake twice as fast. Um, but on that note, I think there's some things you could do. So when it comes to like the brand you have, uh, you could take a few units that you have in Canada and just put them in the US. Just put them there. Run a little bit of PPC. Doesn't have to be anything extravagant, anything expensive. Um, US is a pretty good trade relationship. I mean, you've probably seen some of our politics here that, sometimes some of our politicians feel like we get taken advantage of because we don't charge as much coming into the US. So the risk coming into the US is actually less than it is going into Canada. And you could start with just a small amount of product. So just copy your listing, turn on the US, and sell, like, even if you send just a dozen units, it just if you sell them out in a week, good. That's a good thing. You've at least validated that your product will sell. And if it takes a little while to get some history behind it, that's very normal too. There's nothing wrong with that. So I would say try to stay with the same product family you have and see what else you can do. I would go to your supplier and ask for a catalog. What else do you guys sell? Because if you have a good relationship with your supplier, I'm assuming you do, that the product you have, at least got good quality and things of that nature, at least you have some level of trust in them and they have some level of trust in you. And you can leverage that to, can they do, if you buy multiple different types of products, different versions of what you have or variations, depending on whether they're going to be actual parent-child variations or, just different products that, if they look up, if you're selling garlic press and they look up garlic press, you have 3 different garlic presses that might show up. So I would look and see, is that something you could do where you could just expand on the brand you have? And even if you sell just a small number of units of each, you could also sell in the US. Now, you asked the question about maybe going into Europe, UK. I would avoid that just yet because the US, yes, it's competitive, but it's competitive everywhere. So the US is competitive, but there's also more people buying than there are in the other marketplaces. So it may feel like there's a lot of people going after their slice of the pie, but the pie is big. So you don't need a huge slice of the pie. You can just get a small slice of the pie and you can always expand your slice, so to speak, as time goes on. That would be my suggestion there. Stay in Canada and then go to the US next. And you could just send small test orders. You don't have to send another 500 units or whatever your MOQ is, and order a whole new batch just for the US. Just start with something small. I mean, if you send it in and you're out of stock for a month, oh well. You at least got it in, you validated to yourself that it can work. That may not be the best long-term strategy, but 90% of this is not mechanics, it's mindset. And sometimes that mindset just comes from knowing, oh, I can get a sale, or if I can do at least minimum number of results, I can always scale it up and do better. So that would be my suggestion. Now, to answer the specific questions, is it better to build a brand and stay in a certain category? Well, I think I actually just covered that one. Should I trademark my logo or brand? Should that be a priority in trademarking in Canada? I would say hold off on that part. If you have limited funds, yeah, it's great to be brand registered. Yeah, it's great to have the trademark and things of that nature, but that's one of those things you can always add later. I mean, it's like if you go, chances are no one's trying to rip off your brand. Now, if you were telling me that you're selling like 100 units a day or something like that, I would say absolutely get that in right now. But if you're saying you're having trouble like getting traction, so if it comes down to spending a few $100s on a trademark or a few $100s on maybe trying different products or on marketing, I would go with different product and marketing. And when I say different product, I would say probably, unless it's a complete disaster, staying with your current market right now. The type of products you're selling. And then how many products would you recommend selling in Canada before expanding into other marketplaces? I would say now. start going into the US. I mean, you validated to yourself, if you think about this, that you know how to put a listing on Amazon to send in inventory. You know how to get sales. So if you got sales in the smaller marketplace, you're going to get sales in the bigger marketplace. I mean, because the thing of it is, people in the US say, oh, should I go to Canada? I don't know. Then, they let the fear of risk get in their way of, getting the sales in Canada, but they know they want it. Because, if you can get another 10-15% of your sales in the US, why wouldn't you? So you've got so much upside going into the US, and you don't have to do all kinds of different, give 10 units away or whatever. You could just start. I don't know what your product is or how competitive it is, but you could just start off again, just a few units, get it there. Your goal is not to make it a home run. Your goal is to get a couple sales and prove to yourself you can make a sale to Americans. And trust me, you can make a sale to people in the US. As a born and bred American, I can tell you, we like to buy stuff. So let someone in the US have an opportunity to buy your stuff. That's my thoughts. If anyone watching this has different advice, please leave it in the comments down below. If you're watching this and you have a question that you'd like to be featured potentially in a future video, leave it in the comments down below. I'm be more than happy to do more videos like this if people find this helpful. If you like this format, please let me know again in the comments down below. So if you found this helpful, please consider giving it a thumbs up. And also, if you're not subscribed to this channel, please consider subscribing to this channel. I'll let you know when we have more videos come available to help you in your e-commerce journey so that you can build that e-commerce business of your dreams. So hope you're having a great day. I wish you nothing but the best of success in your e-commerce journey. Take care. Bye-bye.